So, right until this moment I have almost 5k damage and 1.2 spotting damage. So I'm at 6k damage in a tank which is weaker than a Progetto. Now I managed to spot the FV. This is a pretty dangerous tank that basically can one-shot me, so I'm not too keen on getting on his wrong side. At the same time I do want to put a bit of pressure to get him to be spotted. So I just try to skirt around to see if there's any kind of chance of baiting a shot from them, or basically having a bit of help from my Centurion over here, which has full HP. Now he turned his gun around, so I managed to shoot him twice, but I do take one return by the KPZ. Now I'm basically going, okay, I did do 3.6k damage, I do want to ram this guy. So as you can see, the tank is pretty adept at ramming. Now I was just basically trying to spot a little bit, then I saw this Centurion. I did fire one but without full aiming, and now I get spotted and shot at by a dangerous DD and also by the Super Conqueror. This was a mistake in the hindsight. It also crippled my ammo rack, so I had to repair it, and now I'm basically not feeling all that great. So I do want to spot them a little bit. I realized that the Su-130 PM has been exposing himself. And basically try and fish out if I can go and find a few more angles into this Super Conqueror. I do manage to put 2 in, which is kind of what you would expect most of the time in this kind of a tank. You need to fully aim it, but the intercrypt reload is so fast that sometimes the tank doesn't fully aim. So, hi everyone. Today I'll be having a look at the Skoda T-27, which is a Czech medium tank, a premium tank, that it's described by a lot of people as a worse Progetto. So it came kind of at the same period as the Progetto, just the Progetto was better, and then it was buffed by Wargaming, which made it even better because they removed the they basically added a fourth equipment slot for the Progetto. But coming back to the Skoda, the average damage per minute is basically a standard for a medium tank at that time. Then you have some, let's say, okay-ish pen, just a little bit on the low side today, with a decent rate of fire with pretty bad average damage per minute. Then you have the autoloader mechanics, so basically the compensation between the low average damage per minute was the fact that you could fire 3 rounds in a quick succession with really good intercrypt reload. You also had some really good gun traverse speed, some good gun depression, and also great aim time and good dispersion as well. The tank does have a pretty mediocre hit point pool of 1350. Then you have basically no armor. You can only survive some HE impact shots and maybe some miracle bounces, but don't count on those. You also have some good specific to power ratio with a 50 kilometers per hour top speed, which is okay, but nothing special. And then the traverse speed is very good on this tank. You also have a 380 meters view range, which you can improve with some coated optics. And the tank does carry around 54, I think, rounds in total. So the explosive shells aren't really useful for anything except for resetting a cap. But the standard ammunition is pretty decent. The premium ammo, it's basically 242, so it's not great either. So it's basically a pretty mediocre tank when you first look at it. Also the camo rating, let's see that as well. Camo rating is around 30, which is in line with most of other, let's say, premium tank, but this is with a good crew, and also the camo put on every member of the crew. The one thing that is a bit different is that the tank does have 40 tons, which does allow you to ram pretty effectively some light tanks and some weaker or lighter medium tanks as well. So you can do that pretty nicely in this tank. Okay, that being said, I do want to go into replay and show you a recent game that I had in this Skoda T-27. That's basically worse than a Progetto, but in some respects I do think it can be a little bit better. And spoiler alert, the better part is in this really good intercreep reload. Hey guys, so now we're in this replay, and this is the game that I had with the T-27. As you see, it's a standard kind of map between in a Tier 10 game. The enemy team does have some pretty chunky Tier 9s and Tier 10s, including a lot of TDs. And there isn't any kind of real light over here, so the one light that there still exists over here is can be considered the Borask, which is basically kind of a medium but more of a light tank. So you can see over here that I was focusing, I spotted the 703, and the tank's autoloader allowed me to put in 3 shots pretty fast. The first one did bounce, but the other 2 were pretty good. So now I was basically trying to advance towards the position in the middle over here. There is this bush where you can, if you position yourself correctly and you have good enough camo, which I kind of always do on my medium tanks, you can basically go like this and be able to spot and even shoot at enemies driving around that area. So I saw that there was only a KPZ-07, and my friend over here in the UDES was actually advancing, so I decided to go over here and try and assist him. Now I was just basically trying to spot a little bit, then I saw this Centurion. I did fire one but without full aiming, and now I get spotted and shot at by a dangerous TD and also by the Super Conqueror. This was a mistake in the hindsight. It also crippled my ammo rack, so I had to repair it, and now I'm basically not feeling all that great. So I do decide that I need to go towards the end of the map, because if you manage to get into that position, you can get some good shots in towards the back of the enemies who have been advancing over there, and you're pretty safe from the enemies over there. So I fire a couple of shots into the Tier 9 TD, the CC1 Mark II, and then I try to reload. I wait a little bit on this position, then I just try and find a slightly better angle for this one. Unfortunately, the reload of the tank is pretty long, so 21 seconds, so I didn't manage to do anything. I fired one shot to the old position of the tank, but unfortunately he wasn't there, so I basically switched targets to the Super Conqueror. I managed to fire a couple of rounds into the back of the Super Conqueror, which was fighting our team in the middle. So right now I'm basically doing the standard flanking work that you can do in your medium tanks, and now I'm basically okay. I do need to see if I can get a few more shots in the Super Conqueror if he moves just a tiny touch behind us. However, I'm a bit concerned about what might come from the TD side, so I do want to spot them a little bit. I realized that the Su-130 PM has been exposing himself. I grip him out. Fortunately, I didn't took one from the M60, and now I'm pretty happy. I've done already 2 key damage, and now I'm just waiting to get unspotted, to reload, and basically try and fish out if I can go and find a few more angles into this Super Conqueror. I do manage to put 2 in, which is kind of what you would expect most of the time in this kind of a tank. You need to fully aim it, but the intercreep reload is so fast that sometimes the tank doesn't fully aim. So if you want the enemies not to change positions because they are surprised, this is what you kind of need to do a lot of times. Just fire in and hope that RNG is going to be in your favor. I was trying to advance towards the middle to basically see if I can spot those
KPs, maybe for my team over here. I noticed that there was a Nudes, but he got clapped pretty hard over there. So I now I see that the Tier 9 CC Mark II was spotted. I don't know if by me or not. I put in 2 rounds in him, but unfortunately the third one didn't pen. It just hit the front of the back of his tank, which was pretty weird. And it's basically the same rule of 2 in, 1 bounce with this tank, especially if you use standard rounds as I was doing. Now I managed to spot the FV. This is a pretty dangerous tank that basically can one-shot me, so I'm not too keen on getting on his wrong side. At the same time, I do want to put a bit of pressure to get him to be spotted. I'm a bit more concerned at this point even by the KPZ-07, so I just try to skirt around to see if there's any kind of chance of baiting a shot from them, or maybe basically having a bit of help from my Centurion over here, which has full HP. Now he turned his gun around, so I managed to shoot him twice, but I do take 1 return by the KPZ. Now I'm basically going, okay, I did do 3.6k damage. I do want to ram this guy. So as you can see, the tank is pretty adept at ramming. In retrospect, maybe I shouldn't have rammed him, because I did took 200 damage in return from the KPZ, but at the time I just felt like doing that, so what can you do? Now I was close to 4k damage, and yeah, the tank felt pretty good. Unfortunately, I did feel like I had less damage in. I was a bit concerned to not get spotted by the M60, which has a really good spotting distance. I managed to find another 2 shots into the CC, and now the CC is dead. I also get a bit of extra spotting damage. And now I'm pretty concerned that I don't see the STRV. At the same time, I'm 1 shot for the M60, so I don't want to really shoot at him. He's at half health, so just want to stay over here, maybe use my camo, because he doesn't seem to have any really good things over there. Now I did fire 1 shot towards that, and actually 2 shots towards the STRV. Unfortunately, I got to hit him, because in my opinion he's the bigger target. He's really hard to see, and then yeah, he does have a really good DPM. Also the M60 does as well, but at that point I did thought that the STRV is the bigger threat, especially as the M60 didn't feel like he had such a good, or he was such a good player, at least from what I saw. Now, and the M60 is exposing himself. He got spotted pretty easily, so now I do see the STRV. I fire 1, I fire the second one, and then I don't really have the angle to fire the third one. I thought I saw it, so I took the chance. Now I had to reload, and I'm basically out of standard rounds, and now I have to fire some premium rounds, some APCRs. So right until this moment I have almost 5k damage and 1.2 spotting damage, so I'm at 6k damage in a tank which is weaker than a Progetto. I do see that the Borask has killed the M60. Now I'm pretty confident that we're gonna win, especially when we take into account that Waffle in our side has that 6k damage. I tried to get a shot in towards the STRV to get a better angle, but he was pretty well angled against my shot. I did got spotted by the Borask, and now I'm basically dead. And yeah, this was a bit of a heartbreak at the end, because I was feeling pretty good about the game, and yeah, it just felt really nice. And as you saw, the tank was pretty good and spot on. At this moment I see that the Charfutur is basically going like there's no tomorrow. Instead of focusing on the Borask, he basically wants to go after this STRV. He finds the STRV, he takes 1 shot from the STRV over here, but he does manage to close out and kill that guy. Unfortunately, he's still spotted, and instead of retreating, he basically stays and takes another big shot from the Borask, which is on full health, and then I now realize that our Waffle is basically AFK. And now basically my heart just sank in, because I know that the Borask doesn't have the... I'll just move me just a little bit further to see the chat. So I realized that the Borask doesn't really have the chance, because he's on really low HP. I communicate that to my other Borask, but the problem is that he doesn't have... He's a bit greedy, and yeah. So at this point, basically, I know that the game is basically over, and I think that the Borask spends the rest of the battle just trying to find this guy. So I'll speed up and show you the final stats. Alright, now let's have a look at the post-game stats. As you saw, I did almost 5k damage in the Skoda T-27, and also spotted for 2k damage. I also took a bounce over here, did some critical damage as well, and this was only enough for a Mastery Badge class 2, which means that a lot of players are playing this tank really well. So I finished first on damage done, quite a lot higher than other people, and then second on experience. Also, I didn't really fire that much gold, only when I finished my standard ammo, and this allowed me to make a really hefty profit with all of the bonuses from the battle from the holiday ops and the personal reserve bonus. I also did a mission over here, so yeah, I think this is a pretty good case where if you do a lot of damage during the holidays with a good tank, with a tire 8, then you can do quite a nice profit. So what do I think about the Skoda? Well, the Skoda, it's a worse Progetto, some people would say, but actually in some levels it can be just a tiny bit better because of the intercreep reload. The intercreep reload is just 1.8 seconds as compared to the Progetto's 2. You also reload in 21 seconds, so this is a kind of standard autoloader instead of a auto reloading type of mechanic of firing one shell then reloading another. So this is a more classic kind of tank. It does have heavy enough so you can actually ram someone, as you saw in the video. It also has some good top speed, and the camo isn't bad at all. The view range isn't great, so you kind of need to use coated optics, but it's a pretty capable tank. The gun is a standard 8.8 centimeters, so the pen isn't also awesome, but as you saw, the whole package, the ability to fire 3 rounds one after another really fast, it's basically the same kind of a gameplay as the higher tier, the tier 9s and tier 10s Czech line. So the burst per minute is really high, and yeah, I do think this can be a really nice tank to play, and I would recommend it for sure. If you know how to play your autoloaders, then this is gonna be a treat, because it's an enjoyable tank. It has good enough everything to be good, and the one thing that makes it actually work is the autoloader. This is the special sauce of the tank, and this worse Progetto sometimes can do even better than a regular Progetto. If you did like the video, maybe consider giving the video a like, or even subscribing, because I will be posting more content really soon. So yeah, that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Bye now.